It's been going well. It's been great actually. A lot of support out there, so that always helps. But yeah, no, it was a whirlwind, that's for sure. Any new job is. The dust is starting to settle a little bit now, so the new council's getting to know each other, and then just getting a little more familiar with just the day to day. Again, it's a new job. There's lots of stuff that you think that you knew going into it, just like a counselor. Whereas when you get into it, you find out you didn't know anything. So no, but it's really good. Like I said, good support team, and basically everybody I've had to deal with has been very supportive so far. And yeah, again, just it's a lot of listening and a lot of learning for sure.
Welcome to Municipal Affairs. Last November, the people of Saskatchewan headed to the polls to elect new mayors, councilors, reeves, leaders who will guide their community through the challenges and opportunities of the next 4 years. For those newly elected, the first 100 days in office can be both exciting and overwhelming. It's a period of rapid learning, relationship building, and setting the foundation for the work ahead. Now, this transition from campaigning to governing isn't always easy. There are policies to understand, budgets to navigate, and the crucial task of earning the trust of both council colleagues and the community. The learning curve is steep, but it's also setting the tone for what's to come. Today, I'm joined by Ian McCormack of our sister show, The Political Trenches Local Government at Work, as my co-host. Ian, welcome to the show again.
Good to see you again, Chris.
Together, Ian and I will be speaking with the newly elected mayor of Estevan, Saskatchewan, Tony Cernick. We'll discuss his experience in the first 100 days, what has been learned, and what challenges have emerged. Most importantly, we'll explore what these early days signal for the road ahead in his term of office. So stay with us as we dive into the realities of municipal leadership, the highs, the lows of the transition, and what it truly takes to lead a community forward. In the heart of every thriving community lies a well-crafted strategic plan. But crafting such a plan requires expertise, experience, and a deep understanding of local needs. Enter Strategic Steps, your partner in municipal strategic planning. Strategic Steps' team of experts have years of experience in municipal administration. At Strategic Steps, they just don't develop plans. They co-create homegrown strategies tailored to your unique community. They listen, they collaborate, they empower your community to thrive. Contact Strategic Steps today and take the first step towards a brighter future for your municipality. Call Strategic Steps at 780-416-9255 or visit strategicsteps.ca to get started. Mayor, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Greatly appreciate it. I want to kick off with a very simple question. We are now 100 days in, past almost 100 days in from when you took over as the newly elected mayor of Estevan, Saskatchewan. How's the first 100 days been for you?
It's been going well. It's been great actually. A lot of support out there, so that always helps. But yeah, no, it was a whirlwind, that's for sure. Any new job is. The dust is starting to settle a little bit now, so the new council's getting to know each other, and then just getting a little more familiar with just the day to day. Again, it's a new job. There's lots of stuff that you think that you knew going into it, just like a counselor. Whereas when you get into it, you find out you didn't know anything. So no, but it's really good. Like I said, good support team, and basically everybody I've had to deal with has been very supportive so far. And yeah, again, just it's a lot of listening and a lot of learning for sure.
Well, how did you end up in the mayor's chair? You were on council last term. You made a decision to run against one of your colleagues and for a vacant mayor's chair, I think, but you ended up where you are right now. So how'd that happen?
Yeah, it just came about. I never thought I'd get into the political realm to start with, but no, I just obviously became a counselor, and it just the support from people, and it was surprising at first. You think that they were joking about it, but like lots of people did want to see me as the mayor, so that made the decision easiest. So I do have a real job, as I call it, in a different life. So I had to get their support as well. They were very supportive. They said, go for it. We can do both things. And yeah, it just really honestly came about with, just support from everywhere I went. So everybody always had positive things, and they would jokingly say, oh, the mayor, the mayor, the mayor. And then as we started to get closer, I do believe it was about a year out, Mayor Ludwig at the time announced that he would not be running. And then my phone blew up for the next week or two after that. So that's when reality set in that, oh, now I have to run for mayor. So,
Well,
and here we are.
you didn't run unopposed. You ran against two others as well. What were the significant issues in the campaign this time around? What made the difference for you?
It's just really like just the energy city needed some energy, if you will. We have kind of everything against us, everything that we are about, oil and gas, coal, and all that has just been lot of outside forces, if you will, against us. So yeah, it just came about. Infrastructure was a big key, still is for me. I always call it the boring stuff you don't see. Uh, so, and I kind of knew, obviously didn't know at the time, but you know, our energy has turned into preparing for the next boom. So that's just where it all came about. People know that our city, should be growing, will be growing. So just being prepared for that next boom was the major message, and that's really what everybody was talking about as well. So there's lots of new recreational facilities that people want to see as well, rinks and indoor facilities and all that. So there's kind of everything happening all at one time here. So yeah, so that was the campaign trail in itself, and the message was clear. Just we could continue to improve our infrastructure was the major message.
I just need to jump in here because you mentioned the $1 million topic that I was going to talk about later, but let's play in the sandbox for a few seconds if you don't mind there, Tony.
Sure.
Estevan has a strong history in the coal, in the oil, in the gas sector. You are now the leader of your city. You are a proud supporter of the energy industry, and I know that quite well because I've had many conversations with you. And every time that I see you, we're always talking about the energy sector. With everything going on with the global uncertainty in today's world, with Donald Trump resource tariffs, with what's going on in Ottawa with no more pipelines bill, is your city preparing for the worst, expecting hopefully something good to come out of the next month? Or with everything going on in the energy sector in Canada and the United States right now, Estevan might be in for a tough next 100 days, even if you've only had a first 100 days under your belt?
Yeah, we'll wait and see where it all goes. Obviously, tariff, everywhere you look and stuff like that. But we'll wait and see what actually happens. There's a lot of talk right now, and again, we'll just wait and see where it goes. But that is one thing. Yeah, we supply the energy. Basically, all of our oil that gets produced in the southeast corner goes down into the U.S. So it's that would never shut off, if you will. I think there's a 10% tariff proposed for something like that, but all the infrastructure that's in place, like I said, all of our oil goes down to U.S. refineries, then actually comes back into Canada again, which is weird, but that's the way that the infrastructure has been played over the last 50 years. So, and on the energy side of things, we do have a government. An announcement that announcement I wanted to hear when I got into this, but I never thought I would, was we do have a Sask government right now looking into rebuilding our coal fleet one more time. And this kind of goes into, affordability and reliability. And again, that's just bringing this, instead of importing again our energy from somewhere else. This is where we're starting to realize that our province should be self-sustainable. We should be selling power. So again, we'll wait and see. We'll know this summer whether they're actually going to rebuild our coal fleet. But amazingly enough, we have a minister right now that is all in on rebuilding the coal fleet one more time and truly transitioning into nuclear. We all know nuclear is the future. It's just not there yet, right? So all these 2030 timelines and stuff, it's good that we're starting to hear a little bit of common sense, just saying that this is just not going to happen. So we need to look after our own and prepare for the future that way. And again, yeah, with the oil and gas, all of it goes down to the states. So it's the more important of, we need pipelines to be able to export to the world, not just the US, right? So hopefully, if one thing out of all this is Canadians have opened their eyes to how vulnerable we are to someone else affecting our way of life, and it shouldn't be that way.
I should mention just before I throw it back over to Ian that we are recording this on Monday, March 3rd. This is a day before Donald Trump's proposed implementation of a tariff. Last time he proposed it, it did go and it passed, and there was a 30-day reprieve. So by the time this airs, there could be a completely new answer that Tony would have given with the information provided. So if you're tuning in trying to figure out what the mayor of Estevan is thinking about when it comes to the tariffs, wrong time to tune in because this is not the appropriate location. Ian, over to you about the first 100
Sure.
days.
Thanks, Chris. I'm going to get back to some of the how did we get to where we are, and Chris has made reference to the 100 days, which of course is more symbolic than anything else. You've been in office for 3 months, a little bit more than 3 months now.
Yeah.
Do you know? Can you talk about anything that has occurred since you've assumed the mayor's chair? Anything that's gone in a slightly different direction because of the leadership that you've been able to bring?
I can really pinpoint anything along that lines, but again, just for the first, 3 months into this, getting that announcement from the Sask government about rebuilding the coal fleet, I mean, that's huge. I'm still in denial, if you will. I'm still in shock, if you will, that actually happened. So again, we'll wait and see. Once they start rebuilding the first boiler, and then obviously it'll settle in, reality will kick in that, this is truly happening. Yeah, and just I guess synergy is one thing that I've always brought forward. Lots of our groups already. Again, I should back up a little bit. I was given the keys to a ship that was already going in the right direction. So that part of it was easy enough. So now it's just the synergy of bringing everything in together. We have a new tech hub. We have a new chamber looking after the chamber, new guidance there. We have the Southeast College. And again, the synergies, whether it's coal fleet, whether it's technical, we have, a few other things looking into. Before we were going to rebuild our coal fleet, we actually have a couple turning coal into hydrogen and also turning coal into graphite, right? So again, it was already in place, but it's just one thing that I will take forward is we kind of want everything, if you will. We're going to be greedy. We don't just want coal, oil, and gas. We want coal to graphite. We want coal to hydrogen. We have a solar 100 megawatt solar facility going up in the next year. Again, we want it all. We have windmills going all around us. Again, it's just it doesn't matter. We are the energy city, and we want to be greedy and we want it all. So that's just where it all comes in. And like I said, the synergies with the tech hub chamber, just bringing everybody in town, taking that positive message. Where in 2020, like I said, that's just where the energy city needed some energy, and then that's why I got into this. So it's just bringing more of that energy, bringing that synergy, getting that positive voice going forward, even when you have, Donald Trump and his tariffs, attacking you. But what keeps me awake more at night is our actual own Canadian government implementing all these taxes and all these no pipelines and everything like that, right? So it's just one of those things where we'll control what we can control, and all the outside noise, not that we will ignore it, but we'll put it on the back burner and just keep doing us and keep moving forward.
You mentioned you'd inherited a machine that was already humming pretty well, so you've obviously had some change on council already. And so you're changing the face, I guess, of Team Estevan a little bit. How does that have an impact on trying to build that team? Because you've got some new faces around the table, as well as some who are continuing on, regardless if it's internally facing things or some of the issues that you've mentioned, which require your attention.
Yeah, it's just it's a definitely a new council with two veterans, one old veteran that he was out of it for 8 years and now he's back. So then everybody else is brand new, and obviously I'm a brand new mayor. So it's really getting to know each other the first little bit here, and we'll see where things do go. There were a few things that I thought would get kind of passed along that never. So again, that's just where you have to just get to know each other, and that'll be the first year. Even as a counselor, the first year I just took it as learning. Again, you have to get to know your council and see where everybody wants to go. But everybody that I can tell right now has the same positive attitude for our city moving forward. Again, we want all the energy projects that we can get, or anything that comes available, right? And we just want to put Estevan on the map. That's what our tech hub has been doing. It's just a totally different set of eyes looking at our city in a different way. So it's just like I said, anything we can do, and that's one thing what I've noticed with council so far is everybody's on the same page of continuing to grow and carrying that positive attitude. So
You mentioned the learning curve and learning about the role because you have relatively a brand new council and yourself as a brand new mayor. What have you learned about the role of mayor that you didn't know prior to getting elected to mayor? Because that is the big learning curve in itself, because you now are the weight in the shoulders that people rely on to advocate for your community. So what have you learned from this role in the first 100 days?
yeah, obviously, going into the role, it's a very important role. But one thing you do learn is everybody wants a piece of the mayor, no matter where you go, whether it's good or bad. It takes longer to go grocery shopping than it did as a counselor. So when you were a counselor, some people might say hi, but I always refer back to actually the Saturday prior to the election. It took me actually 3 hours to go grocery shopping. And again, I just went grocery shopping yesterday again, and again, all good conversations, all positive. But it just, no matter where you go, everybody wants a piece of the mayor, and I mean that in a good way. There's only been one time where I had a person kind of give me the gears, told me I could put my hat where the sun doesn't shine, and that didn't really worry me about the conversation. Is I didn't have a hat. That's what really worried me about that. So,
What's been what's been the most interesting or challenging part of the job, difference from being a counselor?
just obviously, like I said, I do have another job as well. So learning to juggle the two. So far so good. Like I said, I'm in business development. I worked from home already before, since 2018. So all that wasn't new to me about being there or being around. But yeah, just learning to juggle it, and just again, just the emails, the requests, and everything that garners with the mayor's chair, right? So it'll be a learning curve to get used to all that. So tonight, even for instance, I have to go get a pie in the face now for charity, for the Telemiracle, for the Kinet Telemiracle. Yeah, I put my name out there. So there's more serious things, but getting a pie in the face is definitely something that's comical, and whatever you can do to again just bring light to your city in a good way.
Right. Well, hopefully it's a kind of pie you like, I suppose.
I don't think it ever is. I don't think it ever is.
Good. Well, what makes Estevan unique? You're representing a city here. You have a strategic plan. I had noticed, have a look. You've got a vision that talks about being organized and poised to take advantage of the future. What does all of that mean to you?
It's just, again, we have basically everything that the world wants here. We have land, we have water, we have an abundance of both. Again, just our way of life. We provide energy to Saskatchewan and the world. We are surrounded. We have everything. I always chuckle when people always say, "Oh, Estevan needs a more diverse economy." And I'm thinking, there's no way we could be any more diverse than we already were. Sure, we were all about coal, oil, and gas, but I mean, agriculture all around us. So now we are adding the tech side of things, if you will, where even for myself benefited. I went to a 3D printing seminar. I knew what 3D printing was, but I went to this seminar, And in my other job, it turned out to now we're 3D printing our products and taking them, as I call it, when I go to sales meetings now, I have an arsenal of toys that I bring along with me, and they're all 3D printed. So again, it's just working in that sense of looking after it all.
Hmm. How do you're kind of the leader of council now. I mean, you've got no more voting authority than anybody else, but people expect you to be kind of the face of the city. How do you keep all the members of city council, you included, kind of focused on moving forward and moving in the same direction?
Our city clerk, city manager, and the city treasurers all help with that. All of our managers, in a sense, help with that. And again, yeah, it's keeping things on path. So we have done some training already, which has helped, educational training. And but again, it's just kind of my goal is I'm just kind of sitting back, and if, like as you said it, the mayor only has one vote as well, one voice, one vote. But I'm kind of, if you will, right now just sitting back and letting the councilors, do lots of the debating and stuff like that. And just again, it's just everybody gets to learn that way when everybody's free to, say what they will. And again, just kind of giving the actual council a little bit of that more of that ownership, if you will, of kind of actually looking after the city. So just it's so far so good with that. And again, it's easy when the council, like I said, everybody's different, obviously, but everybody has the same mandate of just doing the best for the city that they can. So which is good, makes it easy.
Sure. Do you have any examples of how you're almost empowering other members of council to kind of look after things they're interested in, or look at take off with their own ideas?
Yeah, and again, it's every week doesn't go by where counselors, they do, and we kind of do where you need approval to do something, if you will. But anybody that's asked for anything so far, they've all asked for good things, I guess. But you know what I mean. I've just let them have that ownership, right? Just so there was a counselor that wanted on Suma. Oh, guess what? You're a Suma rep now. So um, stuff like that, or whether it's talking in the town, if they have inquiries, you know what I mean? So, let them get back to, because like I said, sometimes the people do want to talk to the mayor, but, I will kind of leave that ownership to them, right? So again, it's just giving them the ownership and learning the tricks of the trade as well, right? So
So
far
I
that's
know you're still kind of in the initial phases of being mayor, but if you think forward kind of to the end of this term, fall of 2028, I guess, what does success look like for you and your colleagues on city council? What's different about about Estevan because of the work you've either done or at least started?
we'll find out when we get there. I know people set goals, but I'm pretty obviously you have goals of where you want to be. And again, successfully will be, new energy projects.
Yeah.
And the last term we did a lot going into, we knew Saskatchewan was going to build the first SMRs. So it was between us and another area, Elbow, and it was kind of like, we need to do everything we can to bring attention to ourselves to say we want to be the chosen one for the first SMR. So, and we, as a council and as a city, whether it's the chamber, the Rotary Club, it doesn't matter. Everybody took that positive message and attended nuclear events and stuff like that. Seminars again, whether SAS Power or anything, we wanted to make sure everybody was there. So again, it's just bringing anything we can. If we can get our coal fleet rebuilt one more time, like that's a success. Again, we're the chosen site of the first SMRs. Again, that's a success. Bringing the synergies, our tech hub, seeing it grow. They have a few projects right now in the works. If any of those projects, can come to fruition, again, that's successful. So right now we have a lot of seeds planted, if you will, and for those seeds to turn into plants, that's success to me. So
That's a very Saskatchewan thing to say, seeds to turn into plants, I suppose. Just for anybody who's not sure what an SMR is, it's a small modular reactor. I had to Google it myself as we're going. So I'm getting close to wrapping up my line of questioning with you, but you've mentioned life in the grocery store, saying that grocery shopping now takes a whole lot longer than it used to. I suspect there are other things that take a lot longer around the community too. What are you seeing in terms of the level of respect that is paid to members of city council or to your administrators, maybe now compared to when you first got involved a term a
Uh,
bit ago?
it's good. Obviously, you have the social media side of things that is totally out of your control. But no, like I said, everywhere I've been and everything, almost every conversation, even if they don't agree with something, has been respectful, and that's one thing you can applaud. The citizens of Estevan and surrounding areas. You know what I mean? They know it's a tough job, and they'll respect that for sure. And so far, so good. We'll
Indeed.
see what happens if we start building a new arena or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're
But
always doing
just
good,
as an example, we have a downtown revitalization project which started a couple of years back. This year, it's the kind of the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. The project should be wrapped up and done this year. So obviously, just when you have a big project like that, it was met with a lot of resistance. And just being able to go through that learning experience will definitely help with any other project in the future here. So as tough as things can be sometimes, you just have to take the good with the bad and learn from them all. So
no good deed goes unpunished, however, so you're never going
there
to
you
keep
go.
everybody happy. I mean, I often say this to councils, but if all the decisions were easy, only one of you really needs to be there. It's a lot can be a little harder. So my last questions are just kind of around how do you know if you are meeting the needs of the people and the businesses and the organizations that call Estevan home, and how would you describe the culture of the city for somebody maybe who's never
Yeah,
been?
it's just getting out to any event that we can. There's always all sorts of benefits we can go to. Suppers, dinners, breakfast, council. We started a coffee with council. We had our first one just a few weeks ago. There was a handful of people that showed up, and each one of them brought, a concern or a question. So as it was only, like I said, half a dozen people showed up, but they all brought something. So that's
Mhm.
something that we can all take away and come together with. So again, just getting out in the community as much as we can. We always I guess I call it going on the offense. When I was campaigning, I said we're going to go on the offense a little bit, and instead of kind of being on the defense. Because if you hold an open house or open council, somehow give them something to show up instead of just saying, "Oh, come for a coffee." Give them a project or something's going on. So again, it's just being open and as honest as you possibly can be, and that'll keep people happy. And then yeah, that's about all I can say about that.
Thanks.
Just to pick up on that last statement there, Mayor, is it hard to be open as a mayor of your community? Because you know yourself that there's things that you can and can't talk about in the open discussion, and people want transparency. In today's world, it seems that that's all we want as residents of community members is we want transparency. I know you and I chatted about that topic around pizza in your downtown core a few last year or the year before. How do you see transparency evolving under your leadership to ensure that people know that your council, you as mayor, have the best interests at heart over the next 4 years?
Yeah, it's just there's nothing to hide. Obviously, there's the three L's, if you will: land, legal, labor.
Yeah.
Those are obviously you can't talk about those. That's the hardest part about the job is keeping stuff under wrap that you have to keep under wrap, right? That is the hardest job. But if anything, probably one of my downfalls is I am too honest. So it's just where if I can give them anything, it's just spinning different ways, I guess you can relay messages. And again, it's going out to the coffee shops, it's going to the events, it's going anywhere we possibly can just to get in the public's eye, right? So that's about it. Allowing council again the freedom to, do what they will. If they have an idea, we're gonna look into it. Um, and again, just all evolves around just everybody getting out there and being as honest as we possibly can be. Again, if steering away from the three L's, land, legal, labor, you can't talk about, but there's a lot of information again that goes on to going on the offense a little bit too, right? So there's different groups in town, if you will, where you can say I've went to private meetings and you can get a little more you can get a little more
Colorful,
informal
creative.
thing. You can get a little more, and they're good. Like everyone that I've attended has been good. And again, as long as just you showing up, and answering some of their questions. Again, there's questions you can't answer, but just showing up and going that informal meeting kind of way
Yeah.
will definitely help for sure.
Mhm.
Relationship building is a key priority for any newly elected municipality. You have to work with all levels of government, your MPs, your MLA, your fellow councils around Estevan as well, whether that be the RM or some of the smaller urban communities that are around Estevan, because you rely heavily on them. I remember talking to the former mayor, and I can't believe I have to say that on this show because he will always be the mayor of Torquay, Saskatchewan to me, Mike Strachan.
Yeah.
That Torquay and Estevan had a good relationship working on projects together or working on snow clearing and removal and infrastructure projects. How do you see yourself building stronger relationships? Because you say the sort of foundations already in place with the former council. How do you see yourself being able to bring those relationships a little bit more active or a little bit more to the forefront?
Again, it's just being more active in the sense of just getting together.
How do you do that? Because you're a busy man to begin with.
Well, look, this Friday I have to go to Weyburn and talk with Mayor Richards. You think I really want to go to Weyburn? No, I don't.
Oh, fight words right there. This is
You should have seen
debate.
what he said about you.
And again, so you have to do what you got to do to recreate those relationships. I say that totally jokingly, but again, it just as an example, right? So, it is just again an informal meeting where, let's just go chat it out. And our first, obviously, I've known Mayor Richards for 4 years. So he was on Weyburn Council. But again, this is a totally different relationship. So, and that's just, as you said, relationship building, whether it's your RMs, whether it's your current government. We had, the NDP or the official opposition in Saskatchewan. We had a couple MPs or MLAs, sorry, show up to our first council coffee, right? So, and again, it's just, yeah, they're not the government at the time, but again, it's just that relationships, right? You never know, and it's just when you go to seminars, the SUMA convention, and all that stuff. And I've carried this with me my whole career, if you will, is, you treat everybody with respect because you never know where they're going to end up, and you never know how you're going to help each other in the future. You just never know that. And it's not that you want to treat people with disrespect, but I guess again, everybody has my respect until you lose it, I guess. So, and that's the way I've carried myself throughout my career, and that's the way I'll carry myself throughout this 4 years of being the mayor of Estevan.
I'm gonna blow a little bit of smoke, but I think it's an important smoke to blow here. But I've known you for a few years. You and I have had chatted a few times, whether it be cross-border interviews or at SUMA or even in Estevan. People respect you. You walk into a room, people know you're in that room. Now, you jokingly said that you want everything now because you're the mayor and you want the best for your community.
Yeah.
How do you see yourself working with the uh, current Saskatchewan government? Because they have a provincial budget coming up here soon, literally in a few weeks' time. What do you want to see in that budget from a Estevan perspective that will give you hope that they understand that Estevan is back on the map? We are the energy city. You talk about the coal, the refurbishment that's going to go on, but is there infrastructure projects that you're hoping that they will come to the table and help with? Are there things that you're hoping to see in this budget that you can say they hear what Estevan is going through, and I'm happy that they're actually listening to us?
Yeah, and just the last 4 years, we definitely Estevan put itself on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And just we've already had that announcement. Again, it's not fruition yet about the coal being rebuilt, but that took our as a city, it took we with the government, we're building a new nursing home. It's been like 18 years in the running for that. They did the soil turning event last year. We probably won't see anything in the budget for it this year, but we kind of came to the realization that, oh, just for that new nursing home, we're going to need a new sewer and water line to that area because that area is already maxed out. And then now, if we're talking about rebuilding the coal fleet, being the first site for the SMRs, we're definitely looking at, Estevan being an economic hub for the next 20 years. So we're going to be needing infrastructure again. Like I said, we'll need that sewer and water line already. And again, it's just how we're going to do it is just build those good relationships, um, and take that positive attitude. I've been in meetings with other places or at a convention or anything like that, and I've seen other communities kind of ask for things, and I thought to myself, if you asked me for something in that manner, you're not going to get anything, right? So again, it's just no matter where you are, it's just everything's a learning experience, and that's just I guess that's why I got voted for, is I will just do my best to create those relationships, and as you say, the mayor's chair garners that respect, and I will use it just to get the attention, and so far so good, already have, and again, it's just anything we can do to benefit Estevan, but also benefit Saskatchewan. So, and again, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you are, what color, the government is, we will just treat everybody with respect, and we'll get treated that way in return.
I'd like to jump in if I can and just ask if you have a wish list, if council or Tony has a kind of an ideal list of what might come next, but something that's going to require the assistance of the provincial or federal governments or your regional colleagues.
Yeah, it's going to be infrastructure again, all the boring stuff. We have a lot on our plate
But
right
is
now.
it boring, Tony? Is it, like, to you, me
No,
and
it's
Ian?
not
Like,
boring.
this
That's
is the
what I'm
sexy
smiling
stuff.
ear to ear.
This is the stuff that keeps us up at night and go, ooh, yeah. Wastewater lift
Wow.
stations.
No, that's right. Like there's so many things, wastewater lift stations, and all that stuff that you don't see. Anything we can do to improve infrastructure. Our city is probably sitting in the best spot it ever has been before the next boom, if you will. So, there has been a lot of infrastructure from the last boom that, may not have been utilized over the past 5 or 6 years to its advantage. But again, we're sitting there. Again, we have land and water, but we're just going to need the government, because right now on our table, if everything happened, we're going to rebuild our coal fleet. We're adding SMRs. And again, that's 20, 30 years of big economic activity for the area. So that's just where the infrastructure has to be in place. Because if you're trying to play catch up with infrastructure, as many communities around are in that situation, the reality is you're not going to catch up. So again, when I say I got handed the keys to a good ship, we have been rebuilding our residential areas. We have new commercial areas. So again, our infrastructure is good, but it's just never complete. And as long as we live and die by two words, continuous improvement, we'll be in a good place. So
What are you doing in terms of planning for the future in terms of population growth? Do you have any kind of idea of what you're expecting in 10 or 20 years to build out to
it could,
suit?
when things were booming here, and call it the decade of decadence, I call it 2005 to 2015. We oil and gas was rocking and rolling. We were rebuilding our first ever carbon capture. Well, I shouldn't say our first ever, the world's first carbon capture. And that our population during those boom times could have been 15 to 16,000, where when the boom times went away, the oil and gas boom went away, the carbon capture boom went away. We've been sitting at 10 to 11,000 ever since then. So, we know that we kind of have the infrastructure for, another 4 to 5,000 people. But again, we're sitting in the best spot we ever have. We kind of have a new residential area ready to go. But again, we're going to need that water and sewer line ran to it first. But again, the hard part about it is all the planning and everything like that is already ready to go. There's planning for more condominiums. And again, we have commercial lots, so we're sitting in very good places there. And yeah, so
So
honestly, if they rebuild the coal fleet and start building SMRs, you're looking at doubling the population, I would say, for the next 20 years, right? So
I have
you
one
obviously
last.
you have a lot of workers come in to build it. They all don't stay, right? But again, it's, we could easily be 20,000 by 2035.
I have one last topic I want to talk about, and then I'm going to wrap up with my last. So I have two questions for you left here, Mayor. I know you are a big business development person. Economic development is close to your heart. How do you bring new different businesses to Estevan to populate your community? Because with the new expansion of the coal, with the upgrades to the coal area, with the SMR coming, you're going to need housing, but you're also going to need more development. Are you already in the pre stages of bringing in new or reaching out to new businesses to get them to set up shop in Estevan, or are you taking a we'll let the business community do with as it please? We're just there to be a helper if they need to help set up.
Yeah, reaching out to businesses will kind of that'll be a little more long term,
Mhm.
if you will. But before all that happens, we have to create the opportunity for them to come here, right? So again, I said we have land and water, but we have to get it ready to go. The infrastructure has to be ready to go. And again, it's whether it's building houses or businesses, they need that opportunity. That's what will bring them here. Obviously, economic opportunity is the first, and then they'll be looking. Okay, so I'm moving to Southeast Saskatchewan. Where am I moving to? And again, that's where, as a city, we just have the best thing we can do is provide that opportunity and let the business community know in Saskatchewan and the world that we are here, we are easy to deal with, and we are open for business.
Now I'm gonna see how many times I can say energy in the next sentence. So please apologize right now.
My favorite word.
You are the energy city. You have new energy around your council table. You are a new mayor who loves energy, who has the energy to work for the betterment of his community. Do you believe that the energy city is going to be energetic in the next 4 years, that you can look back and say, Estevan is now truly the hub of southeastern Saskatchewan?
Absolutely. And that's where obviously if the coal fleet comes, we know we're going to be the first place for the SMR. But again, some of these other projects that we have, and like I said, that's where the tech hub comes in. So many good things. We're in April here at little old Estevan, Saskatchewan. The energy capital is going to be hosting a critical minerals conference. So obviously we have lithium in the area. That's a big thing in the area. They're taking it out of old oil wells. So there's the lithium. We have the coal to graphite. Now we're talking, wow, now we might be into manufacturing batteries, right? So it's who knows where it all goes. And again, that's the idea with the tech hub and everything, is just like that all-in approach. We're going to leave no stone unturned. And again, we want her all. We have a company wanting to come build a biomass plant to burn crops, kind of thing. And again, just anything and everything that comes to us, we're going to make sure that we don't miss out on an opportunity. So
Well, I
yeah,
got
and
a
again,
badge. It's going to be energetic, right? Just jazz hand energetic. Come on, let's do it, Tony.
it already is. It already is. It'll be
Wow.
magic. It'll be magic.
Tony, Mayor, I want to thank you so much from both Ian and I for sitting down. The Estevan is in good hands with you at the council, at the head of the council. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person at SUMA next month. Hope if you're at the budget, let's chat, because I'll probably be asking some more questions about what you heard if you're going to be attending this year's provincial budget. And if not, I will make sure that I make it down to Estevan to get a slice of pizza, because I want to see how truly busy you are, because I remember going out with pizza with you and the mayor from Torquay, and you weren't that swamped. So maybe things have changed, and maybe people may want to talk to you now. But let's see how much has truly changed. Thanks so much, Tony.
I'll
Thanks,
have to
Tony.
remember to fill my calendar when you're coming down. But yes, I plan on I plan on attending budget. I plan on attending budget, and obviously at SUMA. So yeah, we'll be in touch for sure.
Ian, thank you so much for joining us on in the Municipal Affairs today. It's always a pleasure to have you chat with me and my guest. How'd you feel today's show went with the Mayor of Estevan, Saskatchewan, Mr. Tony Cernick?
I thought it was very energetic, if I may use the theme of the day. I enjoyed it. I haven't met this mayor before, and I quite enjoyed it. And I probably said this before, but every time we talk to any elected official for that matter, the passion that they show for their own municipality is really fantastic. So thanks for inviting me.
Hey, no worries. And thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Municipal Affairs. We hope you enjoyed the conversation, gained some valuable insights into what is going on in Estevan, Saskatchewan. To stay in the loop with all of our latest episodes and all of our sister shows, don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite platform or follow us on social media. For even more content and learn more about the stories and the people we feature on our shows, visit us online at crossborderinterviews.ca. Your support means the world to us. So share this episode with your friends, your family members, and yes, even your community, and keep the conversation going. So until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you next time here on Municipal Affairs. Till then.